All right, everyone. The other day, Elizabeth Warren was being interviewed by Charlemagne the God. He's a radio personality, author, and actor. He's actually a little bit of a Renaissance man. And she was confronted by him. He basically alluded to her being like Rachel Dolezal. Now, you remember she was the trans black person. She tried to claim she was transracial. Like she's totally white, but she gets like her skin bronzed heavily, and she curls her hair and I guess speaks with an accent or something to sound like she's doing Ebonics. And she's just a general all-around goofy character. And, you know, it's really funny and everything. Now, I will say technically, because of the genetic underlying basis of your situation of birth, transracial and transgendered, fundamentally similar in some aspects, you could say. But yeah, Elizabeth Warren is a lot like Rachel Dolezal when you think about it. She pretended to be like part Cherokee for her whole life. She literally listed herself as Native American for certain legal documentation. That's clearly wrong, because at a maximum she has like, what was it, 1/2000th fucking Cherokee ancestry, and it might not even be Cherokee. They had to do a broader sort of genetic spectrum for the comparison. It could be that she's part Peruvian or something like that. She could be part Mexican. It could be Cherokee. It could be Algonquin. It could be fucking anything. It could be Inuit. There's no way to fucking tell. So Elizabeth Warren is an extremely white individual. She's as waspish as you can possibly be. The fact that she has high cheekbones that she's alluded to doesn't make her a Cherokee like she wants to be. The fact that she did shitty recipes in a Pow Wow Chow cookbook back in the 70s just makes it even funnier. Because it's like, you know, crab omelets and stuff. Yes, this tribe is landlocked, but, you know, crab omelets makes a lot of sense. By the way, somebody pointed this out, and I am not ignorant of U.S. history. I am well aware of the fact that they were a translocated tribe. I'm aware of that fact. But I don't think that mayonnaise and things like that were readily available, you know, after the Trail of Tears period in the middle of the country. I'm not sure that Native Americans typically used mayonnaise in their food. I could be totally wrong, but yeah, okay. Nice revisionism there. Elizabeth Warren has nothing in common with any Native American tribe, has been rebuffed by them repeatedly, and persists in doing stupid shit. And this is why she won't be the nominee for the Democrats, almost certainly. And there are two reasons. Number one is really the baggage with regards to claiming to be Cherokee. If that becomes a debate, if she starts rising up towards the top, it starts outlasting people, the race is thinning 2 debates later or whatever, which it will, if she's still in, and I expect she will, but I don't expect her to be ever in the top 3 or so, or certainly not the top 2. She'll get questioned about that. Hey, you know, you pretended to be Native American stuff. It's like, is this the sort of ammo we want to hand Donald Trump? Trust me, that'll be the attack line, too, from Biden's camp. That's what they would do to hit her back down, because electability is the biggest issue with regards to the Democratic field, with regards to the party. They'll say it makes her unelectable. That'll freak out any of her non-feminist voters. She's got the feminist voting bloc sewn up, and she's got, like, you know, the waspish, busybody hand-wringers, you know, sort of soaked up into her campaign. That's her basic core fan base. You know, and her fans, by the way, legendarily irate and extremely mean to other Democrats that fail to recognize Warren as the standard bearer of the party and the one that can lead us forward into the future. Like, literally, like, the Bernie Sanders fans are afraid of her fans. It's actually funny to see them squabble. Imagine Beto's people. Imagine how jaded you're still a fan of Gillibrand or so, of Julian Castro. You're one of the 10 people that still wants Hickenlooper 2020. Imagine his fans. They're very confused. I'm trying to wonder what voting bloc he has behind him. I guess people that have dust collections or something like that. Now, Rachel Dolezal is an apt comparison. She willfully deceived others about her ancestry. She then took a test proving her own point wrong and was dumb enough to release it. Oh, look, yeah, like 20 generations ago, I may have had an ancestor from Peru. See, I was right. I'm a full-blooded Cherokee. You need to vote for me. She had to apologize. The Cherokee people, like the official tribal leadership, rebuffs her at that point and says, enough is enough. Stop claiming to be Cherokee. You're not. Admit to the fact that you're completely white. You're whiter than Trump, ironically enough. And you're just crazy, and that's basically what it's about. And Elizabeth Warren is a little bit on the nutty side. Like, if you look at some of the things she's glommed onto as far as her, like, political philosophy itself, it's like, isn't she a kind of, sort of a proponent of the New Green Deal? Cortez's bullshit there, Alexandria Ocasio's stuff with the cow farts. We're going to eliminate all air travel. We're going to build trains across the Atlantic because seismic activity and storms aren't a thing, and because we have no fucking clue what we're talking about. Yes, that would go over very well, especially when it comes time to get the Republicans to pass an infrastructure bill. They won't even pass an infrastructure bill fronted by a Republican president. Back when they had a Republican majority in the House and the Senate, they couldn't even get that shit passed. They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't prioritize the things that they could actually get accomplished. What makes you think that they would work with the President Warren on fucking anything? They wouldn't. Even some of the Democrats would probably balk at some of her weird ideas. And by the way, to people who are like, they're like left-wing feminism, female rights, we need to break the glass ceiling. Shouldn't you have someone break the glass ceiling who's qualified to be the president? That's one of the reasons why I disliked Hillary Clinton. Give me a female candidate that, as far as what she says and what she's done and what she wants to do, is worth voting for, and I'll vote for them. I don't care about the race or gender of the candidate. I don't care if they're straight or gay or whatever, or what their religion is. Do they have good ideas? Do they have a track record? This is why Kamala Harris is basically disqualified. You compare what she's saying now to what she did and said years ago, it's a huge discrepancy. It's a problem. Biden's got a little bit of a problem with some of the tough on crime stuff from the 90s. At least he's got a little bit more deniability than these other people. The only consistent one is Sanders, and Bernie Sanders is a fucking burnout. He's a nutcase. A socialist self-avowed. That is not going to work for the business Democrats. Yeah, you want Trump to win Minnesota next time around? You want Trump to potentially crack through in New Hampshire and Maine? Yeah, just nominate Bernie Sanders and see what happens. Or maybe not New Hampshire because of the Bernie effect from Vermont, but Maine certainly could be a possibility. It's leaning more and more red each election, it seems. It's no longer a solidly blue state like it was for a while. Elizabeth Warren, like Rachel Dolezal, yeah, you could say that. And the look on her face was priceless. Like, she's like, oh shit, I've been called out again. And this time it's by a dude who's black, so, I can't play the ma race card. I can't ramble about ma Trump or anything like that. This is going to hurt her ratings, I think, a little bit. Yeah, it could definitely hurt her ranking in the polls. It could shove her down a slot. Like, she's competitive for third or fourth usually in these. Like, it's not bad. I mean, she's technically viable, but I think she has a very low ceiling because the number of people who can find her palatable in such an election, I think, is astonishingly low. I'd be surprised if she ever got 20% in any state. That's about all. Peace out.